Right under casinos that burn millions every night, people are living in storm tunnels built for water. Not humans. How can any city call itself civilized and still leave them in the dark?
Oi! You ain't got no light down here. And rats. And mosquitoes.
Huh? Is that you, Rascal? Oh, cat? Don't want to become homeless, that's for darn sure. Because it's very hard to get back up on the streets.
We have to fight every day to survive. It's hard to get water even, because people won't even let you get water.
I go out, I try to earn what little change I can instead of just standing around on the corner somewhere or standing around just chasing people. Hey, give me some change.
Years right here, and it's been hell out there.
Is the worst right now with thieves. It really is. And we have no council or anything. We are probably the most unorganized humbums I know.
I want to get out of here. I don't want to live this life anymore. I can't take it.
We're going to get out of here, though. We're going to get out of here. It's not going to be long now.
Welcome, Homeless Life Stories.
Right here in Las Vegas, a place that can burn through up to $8 million in gambling every single night. But beneath the ground where you're standing, another world exists. 200 miles of tunnels, 1,500 people living without ever seeing sunlight. And even the police admit this is a dead zone, no signal, no law, no light. They call the residents here mole people. But to Homeless Life Stories, they are human beings swallowed by darkness, erased from the map of humanity. Down here, the three things that kill people fastest are not drugs, not violence, but flash floods, darkness, and being forgotten. Not everyone who lives in Las Vegas actually lives in Las Vegas. Today, we go down to the very bottom of Las Vegas to see them. And to ask, how many more people have to die before the city recognizes that they too are its citizens?
Because that's how I was getting food for a while, thinking through dumpsters.
Chapter 1. The Gate to Hell Beneath the City of Sin. Las Vegas has no basements, but it does have a second city lying right under the glowing casinos. Few people know that this 600-mile tunnel system was originally built only to carry stormwater. Not for humans. Not for life. Yet that is where more than 1,500 people are now living, and according to local outreach groups, the real number may be twice as high because some stretches of tunnel have never seen daylight or the footsteps of anyone from the outside. Stepping from the surface into the tunnels feels like falling out of one world into another. Above are Caesar's Palace, the Bellagio, and the Wynn Resort places where, in a single minute, as much money can be made as a manual worker earns in an entire month. Below is a thick, solid darkness, wastewater collected in streaks along the floor, the sound of rats darting across the damp of old concrete, and breaths so faint they blend into the black. Everyone living here carries at least one reason that pushed them down, but they share one thing in common: no one was born to live like this. These tunnels are not safe. They were designed to carry floodwater, and when rain pours down dozens of kilometers away, the water can still rush in within just a few minutes. For the people in the tunnels, a rainstorm is not weather, it is a life or death warning. When the water comes, it does not care who has what story, who once had a family, who once had a future. It simply sweeps through, and then it is gone. No one says this out loud, but the truth is right here. How rich can a city really be if its prosperity is built directly above people forced to live in the dark? If you believe that every story has the power to change a life, please like, comment, and subscribe so that Homeless Life Stories can continue bringing light into the darkest corners of America.
Wrestlers are some of the most badass dudes out of...
Chapter 2. The Different Laws of the Mole People. You may call them mole people, but the way they organize themselves would startle many people living on the surface. In a place with no addresses, no police, no written laws, they still have
First
order.
comes through, you got
Not a
what you
perfect order, but enough to keep everything from collapsing into chaos. Each tunnel usually has someone seen as an underground leader. No one elects them, no one officially appoints them, but everyone silently recognizes their role. They are the ones who step in to settle conflicts, protect those who are weaker, and decide who gets to stay and who has to go. Nearby, there is always a lookout, someone who watches for floods, for sudden police raids, or for strangers entering the tunnel. Someone else takes on the job of cleaning up trash, another brings in clean water, and another is responsible for calling out for Narcan if someone collapses. All of these are roles without names, but they are exactly what keep the world beneath the tunnels from breaking down into violence and chaos. The laws here are not written down, but anyone who comes in has to understand them. Do not steal. Do not interfere with another person's sleeping spot. And do not bring fake drugs into the tunnels. Break just one of those 3 rules and you will be kicked out immediately. No arguments. No trial. Because in a place with no property, no documents, no formal rights, belongings are the last thing keeping them from disappearing completely. Lose a backpack and you lose your identity. Lose a plastic bag and you lose everything you have left in this world. Down here, the concept of day and night simply does not exist. People who have lived here too long say they are trapped in something they call tunnel time. There are no clocks, no sun, no change in the light. Only the constant murmur of water and a thick darkness that feels like it has fallen asleep on their skin. It is a chilling paradox. When the society above pushes them out of its shared order, they are forced to build a new order of their own in the dark.
Like that will stop the majority of the water. It's still everything's gonna be wet. There is no staying dry. When it floods, it's wet for days.
Chapter 3. Why are they forced to live in the tunnels? No one chooses to live in a tunnel. But Las Vegas has pushed thousands of people down there as a last escape. On the surface, rental prices have doubled since the pandemic. A shabby room that once cost $600 now jumps to over $1,200. For people working shifts in restaurants, hotels, or casinos with an average monthly income of only $1,800 to $2,000, a small stumble is enough to drag them underground, losing work hours, getting sick, having an accident, or having unpaid bills. That fall happens as fast as a neon light switching off. But rent is not the only reason. For years, Las Vegas has been cleaning up its streets under an unofficial policy everyone understands. Whenever too many homeless people appear, the police move them along. They are pushed out of parks, lawns, sidewalks, and even from under overpasses. When there is no place left to stand in daylight, they look for the only space the city no longer cares to see: the tunnels. The less visible they are, the less of a problem they become. That is the logic of the surface. Everyone living in the tunnels tells the same story. People bother us less down here. Above ground, they are checked, chased, and forced to move on just for lying in the wrong spot. Below ground, even in the darkness, they can at least sleep a few hours without being shaken awake. For those carrying PTSD, flashing lights, car horns, or arguments on the street can trigger panic. In the darkness of the tunnels, they feel less judged. No one looks at them as a complaint the city wants to erase. And so, the tunnels become a shelter for everything no one wants to see: the pain of the poor, the helplessness of the system, and the wounds Las Vegas hides to preserve its own glow. No one truly chooses darkness. But when life leaves you with no place where light still reaches, people will find their way down to the one corner of the city that can't be bothered to look at.
I think it's mostly fear, though. Like,
the closer they get, the more they want to distance themselves from it.
Chapter 4. Tunnel Syndrome. Living beneath Las Vegas is not just about survival. It is a process of being rewired. No one goes into the tunnels and remains the same as when they first stepped in. Volunteers have an unofficial name for this phenomenon, tunnel syndrome, a form of transformation that is silent, slow, but cruel. In the thick darkness, where the beam of a flashlight is the only source of light, and the dripping of water is the only clock, the human brain slowly slips off its normal orbit. With no day or night, no calendar, no social rhythm, the body's internal clock fades out like a dying battery. After a few weeks, they can sleep whenever, wake up whenever. No one knows whether it is morning or the middle of the night. Time is no longer a flowing river. It becomes a stagnant puddle. One person who lived 9 months in the tunnel said, "On the surface, I used to be afraid of being late. Down here, I don't even know what time is anymore." Then comes a deeper transformation, the sense of self. Many people forget what date it is today. After a few months, they forget what they look like under natural light. A man who once had a college degree says he can no longer remember his own birthday. Chapter 5. When human lives fall apart. No number can capture the tunnels as completely as real faces can. Beneath those cold slabs of concrete, you will meet 3 kinds of people: those who once had everything, those who are slowly losing everything, and those who no longer even know what they've lost. They are not what the city imagines them to be. They look just like us, the only difference is they fell first. The first man I met once made $80,000 a year. White shirts, a stable job, a small family with 2 children, a back injury, a few prescribed painkillers, and then fentanyl slipped into his life without him quite noticing. By the time he woke up to it, the house was gone. His wife had taken the kids elsewhere, and his bank account was wiped out. Now he spreads a thin blanket over the damp tunnel floor, leans against the wall, and speaks in a cracked voice, "I didn't plan to be here. I just fell. No excuses. No blaming. Just a man who watched his life slide out of his hands faster than he could grab it back." Just a few steps away is a mother of 5. She holds a small cat, the only thing she has left after losing custody of her children because she was too poor to keep a home. She doesn't cry. She just strokes the cat's back and says she often wakes up in the middle of the night at the sound of water running through the tunnel, afraid that one day a flood will wash everything away, the same way life has already washed away everything else. "I used to be a good mother," she says, as if reminding herself. At the far end of the tunnel is a 65-year-old man, so thin that his shoulder bones show beneath his hoodie. He drove a taxi in Vegas for 30 years. 1 heart attack, 1 hospital bill, 1 repossessed car, and he fell straight from the surface to the bottom. He says he no longer has the strength to climb back up. No more home. No more children. No more name. Only a small corner of the tunnel he calls his rest spot. A place to breathe, not to live. Chapter 6. The Underground Economy. On the surface, people throw money into slot machines, into alcohol, into dazzling shows. Underground, people pick up what's left of that luxury. Aluminum cans from hotel trash bins. Copper wires from abandoned construction sites. Items tourists drop after a drunken night out: a watch, a pair of shoes, even a phone. Every item found is a chance to trade for tomorrow's meal. Some days they make $10, some days 30. Some days, nothing but a heavy bag of trash and hands streaked with blood from rummaging. No one brags. No one complains. Life in the tunnels recognizes only one measure of value, whether what you've managed to find is enough to keep you alive for another 24 hours. And within this chaos, its own order emerges. A few people know how to find items with higher value. They become the professional hunters. Others are good at bargaining with secondhand shops. They become the negotiators. This small economy is far from perfect, but it follows the logic of people pushed to the bottom. When you have nothing, you use your own body and effort as your capital. Chapter 7. The support system between hope and misalignment. On the surface, Las Vegas has hundreds of charities, recovery programs, medical vans, and 24-hour hotlines. But when you step down into the tunnels, the first feeling is, all of that seems to belong to another world. Not because they don't want to help, but because the system and the people who need help are moving at two completely different speeds. On one side, organizations like Vegas Stronger place addiction treatment before housing. They believe that you have to get clean first, then we can talk about stability. But this creates a cruel paradox. People experiencing homelessness cannot quit drugs while they still have to sleep outside, endure the cold, live in fear, and face hunger at their door. They need a safe place first, then they can be calm enough to try to get clean. Forcing them to quit first only drives them to run away from the program on the very first day. More than 90% of people experiencing homelessness have lost their IDs, which means they cannot register for shelters, cannot apply for insurance, and cannot get into rehab. A thin sheet of paper becomes a locked door over an entire life. Many say they want to enter a detox program, but the shelter won't allow pets, won't allow them to bring their belongings, and won't allow pain medication. For them, those are not just strict conditions, they are impossible conditions. For Homeless Life Stories, we don't tell these stories to scare you or to make Vegas look worse. We tell them because there are human beings still existing quietly beneath your feet. They were once workers, parents, lovers, someone's friends. And the truth is, none of them chose the darkness. They simply ran out of chances to step back into the light. Our personal view is very clear. A society cannot call itself civilized if it still leaves its most vulnerable people to live in places that were never designed for human life. A wealthy city cannot be beautiful only at the top, it has to be decent from the very bottom up. And if the only thing we do is look away, then tomorrow nothing will change, not for them, and not for us either. We believe that change does not begin with speeches. It begins with looking directly at an uncomfortable truth. They are not invisible, we are the ones who haven't looked long enough. If you've watched this far, that already is an act of care. But if you can share this, leave a comment, or simply keep following, then this story will travel further, reaching those who can create real change. And before we close this journey, we only wish for this small thing. May those who are living in the dark find a way out. May we not forget them as we walk beneath these dazzling lights. May compassion not go out in any of us. Amen.